What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the 45-45 podcast. Today we're going to be giving each other our best 11 for the Euro 2020 tournament that's coming up this Friday. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Cue that intro. Alright, so for this video, here's how we're going to do it. Essentially, we're just going to give each other the player in each position and we're going to alternate back and forth and just see where it takes us. So let's get right into it. All right, you want to go first or me?
Rock, paper, scissors, bro.
All right.
Let's go. You go first.
All right, so unfortunately, I lost the rock, paper, scissors, so I'm going to go first. My goalie in the best 11 is Thibaut Courtois. I think Courtois is going to be the best goalie in the competition. Okay, hear me out. I don't think Belgium's going to win, but I do think he's going to have a fantastic competition. Only because I can't see Hugo Lloris from France edging him out. What do you think about that?
Funny you mentioned that because my keeper is actually Hugo Lloris. And the main reason why I picked Hugo Lloris is because he is surrounded by a fantastic defense from Varane, Kimpembe, Pavard. He has a quality backline in front of him, so I think that they'll help him keep clean sheets throughout the tournament.
That is very true. That is very true. When I was doing some research on France and looking at their squad, they're stacked. Their defense is very stacked. Seeing Varane, like you said, and Kimpembe, they have Longley, Jules Koundé, like they're set at center back. If they get one injury, I think they're straight. But why Lloris? I think Lloris is a little bit mistake prone.
Yeah, but he does pull off really good saves.
True.
In the heat of the moment. Even though he does have that mistake in him, which is noticeable. I remember the World Cup, that back pass that he received, which led to the second goal. Yeah. Luckily France already sealed the game up, so it wasn't really that bad, but he does have that error in him, so I understand where you come from.
Very true, very true. All right, well, on my case, I think Courtois is going to be great because he doesn't really have the best back line in front of him, and he's a good shot stopper. I think he has the length, he has the speed, close enough to be able to stop shots, and we'll see what actually happens. But for me, I say Courtois, and Dave, he says Lloris.
All right, so for my left back, I chose Ben Chilwell in the 4-3-3 formation. The only reason why, I think Ben Chilwell in England will run a 3-4-3, so he'll actually be a wing back. But for the purpose of this video, I chose a back four and put Ben Chilwell. But he just won the Champions League with Chelsea. He's been phenomenal. Any winger that comes up against him, I feel like he's good defensively. He can recover well and attack well, which is needed in the modern day fullback. Yeah. So I think overall he's the best left back going in, apart from, I guess, Luke Shaw, who does put in a good case. But other than that, Ben Chilwell is my left back in that best 11 squad.
Cool. That's actually funny because I chose Luke Shaw. I put my formation as a 4-4-2, just like a basic formation. But I was actually gonna put Ben Chilwell. Until I put it in the 4-4-2 formation, and then I realized he's more suited, like you said, as a wing back. He's really good at wing back. He's good at getting forward a lot in that position. But I think as an overall left back, if in my formation, I think Luke Shaw is better. Defensively, I think he's better. Attacking wise, they're pretty similar. Yeah, I would say they both have a great cross on them. But I fancy Luke Shaw for some reason. I feel like he's gonna do well in this tournament. And if he doesn't, then damn, I'm beat.
But I honestly think it all depends on who gets to play and what formation Gareth Southgate runs. Right. If he runs a 3-back, then I think we're gonna see more Chilwell. But if he does opt for that 4-3-3 formation, then I think we may see Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I'd be happy to see Luke Shaw be reinstated into the England team because he's been out for like couple years. Yeah, he's been out for a while because he was in some poor form. Then he had a lot of injuries. So it'll be interesting to see. But Ben Chilwell is a great choice. I was also thinking about choosing Ben Chilwell. So we'll see how England does. Now moving on to left center back, I chose someone who actually just won Player of the Year. I chose Ruben Diaz, and the reason why I chose Ruben Diaz is because he's nice. There's not really much I can say. He is arguably one of the best center backs in the competition, and it's surprising to say that because he's only 23 years old. We have some experienced center backs. Like Varane is very experienced, Longley is experienced. From Belgium, you have Toby Alderweireld. There's a lot of good experience in the competition, but I think Ruben Diaz is just very, very solid. I think I said it in another video. He's a great tackler of the ball. He's so quick on his feet. he knows how to get into good defensive positions to stop the opposition attacker from getting in through on goal. So I think he's going to be crucial for Portugal as well, because the Portugal team is very like attack minded. So if they get caught on the counter, I think he's going to do fantastic. But what do you think?
I guess great minds do think alike. Yeah, I also had Ruben Diaz as my left center back.
Yeah.
I mean, just to piggyback off what you said, he's a great defender. He reads the game well. Positionally, he's good. I mean, just a solid center back, and I think deserving of the Player of the Year award.
All right. I don't think he deserves it. I think Harry Kane deserves it, but Ruben Diaz, if Harry Kane didn't have the season he had, then there'd be no contest.
Yeah.
But Ruben Diaz, him winning it, I'm not upset about it. I just don't know if he should have been chosen over Kane, but he did have a fantastic season. So I agree with you there.
So for my right center back, I decided to go with Rafael Varane. I mean, Varane has been a quality player for the past 5-6 years. Yeah. I mean, he's a quick center back. He can also read the game really well. I mean, he organizes back lines. And I mean, they won the last World Cup. And if you saw his performances, they were very influential. I mean, he's surrounded by quality players, so it'll only make him better.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rafael Varane is my right center back in this best 11.
All right, cool. So this guy just obviously wants to copy me because my right center back is also Varane. And just like he said, he's a very solid center back. And he's been doing this for years. He's been playing for Real Madrid at the top level for like 5, 6, 7 years. So he's used to it. He won the World Cup with France as well. So he's going to be solid. If he doesn't, it's going to be surprising, honestly, because I can't see how he wouldn't. I know he's struggled a little bit with Real Madrid in the past season, but I think that's just them getting used to not having Ronaldo carrying them all the time. So it's more work on them to actually play certain teams now that Ronaldo's not there. But Varane, nonetheless, is still solid, and hopefully he comes to Man U. That's something that I'd be too excited if he came to Man U, because we finally have that center back alongside Harry Maguire. And I think that would elevate Maguire's game too. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true. I mean, at all levels of the game, if you play with good players, it makes you a better player.
For sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, so Rafael Varane is also my right center back. So moving on to right back, and this might be a little controversial, but I actually chose Joshua Kimmich as my right back in the best 11. Yep. And here's why. So when I was doing a little bit of research on Germany, I realized that their coach is either going to play them in a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3 or some type of 3 at the back formation. You can't have Toni Kroos in the midfield alongside Kimmich because they'll just get ran through. That's just a fact. They both don't have the legs enough to go up against someone like Kanté and Pogba in the midfield, for example. So I think Kimmich has to start. He can't be benched. And I don't think you can bench Toni Kroos either. So I think you have to play Kimmich at right wing back or right back. That's the only way that he'll be able to actually effectively control the game, I think. He's still a creative player, even when he plays right back. But no doubt, he is a very good defensive mid, probably the best defensive mid right now. Actually, I like Kanté as the best defensive mid, but the best deep line playmaker for sure. So I think he's going to be too influential to leave on the bench. And like I said, you can't play him and Kroos in the same midfield. So right back, that's why I chose Joshua Kimmich.
Right. Another thing, do Germany even have a good right back other than Joshua Kimmich?
I think Klosterman is the only
Klosterman
from Leipzig. I think he's the only one.
For my right back, I went with Kieran Trippier.
Yeah.
So he just came off the back of winning the La Liga title with Atletico Madrid, first time since I believe 2014. Yeah. So I mean, the numbers that he put up this season are ridiculous. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but he's been very good for Diego Simeone and that 4-4-2 formation. He may play fullback, he may play wingback. I think fullback suits him more since he's more used to it. But if England run a 3 at the back, I don't think he'll be playing that wingback position. I think they have other players that can play that position, like Kyle Walker. But yeah, Kieran Trippier, he's very good defensively. He's very good on the attack. He'll push up, help overload the wings, supply crosses. Yeah, and he's also a good set piece taker. So yeah, I went with Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, Kieran Trippier is definitely a good choice. He's also someone that I was thinking about in that position. Like you said, he's really good defensively, surprisingly, because a lot of wingbacks aren't known for their defensive capabilities, but he can actually defend. He has a great cross on him. He's a great attack-minded wingback, so if he's on the end or if he's crossing it into Harry Kane, more likely than not, it's gonna connect. So that's a great choice, honestly.
All right, so for defensive mid, I went with the obvious answer in N'Golo Kante. I mean, if you have someone else as defensive mid, you're lying to yourself. N'Golo Kante just came off the back of winning a Champions League with Chelsea. I mean, if you watch Chelsea or just watch him as a player, you know why he is in this side. I mean, he gives you everything you want on the defensive end and the attacking end. Box-to-box player, can put in a hard tackle, very humble. And I mean, he's just a complete package. I don't know, words can't describe how good he is. So if you know, you know. N'Golo Kante is my defensive mid in this best 11.
For me, since I chose the 4-4-2, it'll just be my left center mid that I'll talk about. And I also chose N'Golo Kante. And Kante is probably going to be in everyone's fantasy team and everybody's best 11 because he truly is like the best defensive mid in the world right now. Like, his energy is unmatched. He's everywhere. He's up and down the field. He's a good tackler. He can drive the offense sometimes. He can push forward and really push his team up. And I think I was talking to my dad yesterday and he said Pogba was like, Kante has to win Ballon d'Or. He said he feels, I think it was either Pogba or Giroud that said this, but he was like, it feels like they have 12 people on the pitch when Kante is playing.
Pogba said that.
Yeah, and like, I can imagine, because that guy never runs out of stamina, but he's so humble about everything that he does. Like, he just really loves the game, and you can tell, and he puts that into his performances every single time. He's going to be great for France. And he's one of the reasons why I think they're going to win, because how do you beat a midfield of like Pogba, Kante, Tolisso, or Rabiot? Like, that's going to be really hard to beat. So yeah, I agree, Kante all the way. So for me, my other center mid, this is also a really obvious one because he's just so good. It's Kevin De Bruyne from Manchester City. I put him alongside Kante. Imagine if they actually played together in a 4-4-2, like they would boss the midfield. De Bruyne is so technically gifted. He's gonna do so many great things. He has Eden Hazard in front of him. He has Lukaku in front of him. He has probably Tielemans right next to him. Dries Mertens, like he has some great players in front of him. But he can also do everything that you want in a center mid. He can pass, he can create, he can defend a little bit. I'm not saying he's the best defender, but he can definitely do a job on the defensive end. And he can shoot. He can finish. Like, this guy has a finish better than some strikers, which is crazy. Yeah. So I chose Kevin De Bruyne as my other center mid.
All right, so with my number 8, I went with Paul Pogba. I mean, Pogba, just like Kante, is a box-to-box midfielder. He's strong. He has a flair. He can pass. He can shoot. He can do everything. Usually with this France squad, he does play well, but as we do see with United, sometimes his performances lack. But I don't expect him to be off his game at this Euros. I think he'll put in top performances game in and game out. And I think he'll be one of the main factors of them winning the cup. So yeah, Paul Pogba is my 8 in this best 11. Okay, so for my last center mid, my number 10, my attacking mid. At first, I was indecisive between Mason Mount and Phil Foden. And obviously those guys are really good, but after doing some research today, I'm going to switch that to Kevin De Bruyne. Because at first, when he got injured in that Champions League final, speculations were he was going to miss the group stage. And I don't know if he'd be able to come back and have a good performance, because I think Belgium would have gotten knocked out of the semifinals. So I asked myself, is that really enough time to put in good performances in order to be in this best 11? But then I saw news like recently that he's only going to miss the game against Russia, the opening game. So that gives him more games to perform. Yeah. So I think Kevin De Bruyne obviously takes that last spot. Like T said, De Bruyne can do it all. He can pass, he can shoot, he can dribble. He when he loses the ball, he's the first one to get it back. I mean, his work rate is amazing. He's everything you want in a player. So Belgium really have a good midfielder, and I think they can go far into this tournament.
Definitely. They're definitely one of my favorites to go all the way, but it's going to be hard against France, so we'll definitely see. But yeah, good choice. I guess now I'm moving on to my left mid, and this one I don't know how you're going to react to, but I chose Jack Grealish as my left mid in the best 11, and yeah, that's a controversial one, but Jack Grealish is nice. Like, he is. Oh my gosh, like you wouldn't expect someone like him to be so good, but because he plays for Aston Villa, But man, that, like, damn, bro, like his ability in tight spaces is crazy. Like, he can do a lot of things that you wouldn't expect him to do in tight spaces, and he can drive forward. He has decent pace. He has good playmaking abilities, which I like. I think he's gonna be. See, here's the thing. With England, they have so many attack-minded players. They have so many attacking mids that I don't know if he's gonna play all the time, or Mount is gonna play, or Phil Foden's gonna play. But I mean, they're all great players, honestly. I think Jack Grealish is gonna have a really good tournament if he gets the game time. I'm not sure what Southgate is gonna do, but if it was up to me, I would probably play Jack Grealish more over Phil Foden. I would probably play Mount more over Foden too, just because Mount won the Champions League and he's been really crucial this season. But yeah,
more experience as well.
More experience definitely helps as well. Even though Phil Foden plays for Man City and he's a very like world-class potential type player, I would choose Jack Grealish.
And Jack Grealish is a leader as well.
Yeah, so. Yeah, he really he led that Aston Villa team. I mean, where did they finish? I think they finished.
They were definitely top half of the
Yeah, they finished above Arsenal, I'm pretty sure.
I can double check that.
And it's not like their squad got any better from the previous season. It's just Jack Grealish was so influential that when he was on the field, he was making things happen. So I think he's gonna be.
Oh no, they finished 11th.
Okay, so they finished below.
That's still
Arsenal.
good for Aston Villa.
But that's good, like you wouldn't expect that, especially when they made like not too many significant changes to their squad. So I think Jack Grealish is gonna be a very top player in this tournament.
So for my right winger, I went with the man himself, Kylian Mbappe. I mean, Mbappe is the complete forward that you want. I mean, he's blistering quick. Yeah. He has a good shot on him. He can make combo passes with players. I mean, his movement, off the ball movement is electric. He can do it all. Left foot, right foot, he can head, everything. I mean, I think he's going to win a lot of Ballon d'Ors once Messi and Ronaldo retire. So he's definitely one for the future. I think he will lead this French squad in goals scored, even though I don't think he will win the Golden Boot, but I think he will contribute a decent amount of goals to help push this French side to win the tournament. So yeah, Kylian Mbappe, that's my right winger for this team.
All right, funny you say that because my right midfielder is Kylian Mbappe as well. I mean, it was no brainer. Like, I was either gonna put him at striker. Originally, I put him as my striker. But then I realized like, there's too many good strikers in this tournament. And Kylian Mbappe can play left wing, striker, right wing. I think he's, for this, video purposes, right mid suits him pretty well. Like David said, he's gonna score a lot of goals. He's gonna lead France in goals for sure. He does everything that you want in a young player as well. He's very quick, he's very direct, and he knows how to finish. Already, I think he's like 22.
22.
I mean, he finishes better than Anthony Martial, who's been playing for about 10 years. I think he's like 26 now. And when Martial first came out, everybody was like, yeah, he's going to be the next big thing. No, that man has, he's fluctuated. But Mbappe, you can tell that he's going to be the next generational talent, or at least one of the next generational talents alongside Erling Haaland. But he's not in this tournament, unfortunately. So yeah, I agree. Kylian Mbappe definitely deserves a spot in the best 11. All right, so now moving on, we're almost done. And I only have 2 more positions left. I'm going to go with my left striker, and the person that I chose is myself. I chose Romelu Lukaku. I think Lukaku's going to finish as the Golden Boot winner because he had a great season with Inter. And I know it's the Serie A, but you got to do what you got to do when you're playing against professional footballers. And he went to the Serie A I think like 2 years ago, and he's been dominating ever since. Lukaku is just born to score goals. Like, he's a goal scorer. He's not really good on the ball. He's gotten better ever since he left Manchester United, but his on the ball skills, like, he's not that type of person. He's a target man. You want to just find him if you need a goal. He can head. He's quick. For someone who's like 6'3" and like 200 plus pounds, like, he is fast. That man can get through and behind most defenses, and his strength, you're not bodying Lukaku. Like, that man is way too big. Like, you're just not gonna body him. So yeah, I choose Romelu Lukaku, or myself. But yeah, I think he's gonna do well in this tournament.
All right, and for my left winger, I'm gonna go with his close teammate, Eden Hazard. So I know Eden Hazard came off a disappointing season with Real Madrid with a lot of injuries, But albeit, if he's healthy and can stay healthy throughout the duration of the tournament, I think that he'll be influential for Belgium. I mean, he's silky smooth on the ball. I mean, he's intricate, he's neat, he can play a good pass, he can shoot. He's the complete package to a complete forward. So I think that him and the rest of the golden generation of Belgium, with him, Tielemans, De Bruyne, Lukaku, everyone, if everyone plays their parts, they'll do really well in this World Cup. And I think that he can be one of the engines that helps them win this, not World Cup, Euro. But I think that, yeah, he'll be one of the key contributors to them winning the cup.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice, and honestly, I like that choice. I think Eden Hazard, like you said, has had a difficult season, and he should be fit by now. He hasn't played too many games for Real Madrid, but on the tail end of the season, he came back into fitness and started playing again. He's gonna be influential for sure. It's Eden Hazard, regardless of how many injuries he's had or how like poor he's kind of been for Real Madrid. For Belgium, he's the star. It's a star-studded team, but he is that go-to type of player. So I think, yeah, he's gonna be great. And Roberto Martinez, the Belgian coach, said he's fit and said he's ready. So I think he's gonna do well, especially like you said with De Bruyne being out for the first game. Everything's gonna run through Eden Hazard. He has a lot to prove, and I think he'll prove it for sure.
All right, so to round off this best 11 team, I'm going to go with with this guy right here, Romelu Lukaku. I mean, just to piggyback off what T said, he had a really good season at Inter. He'd probably be everything that you want in a striker. He's big. Even though he's big, he can move. He's pretty fast. He can get in behind. He can be a target man. Whatever you want, he can do it. I think him being in the Serie A really helped influence his game because I think, one, that it built confidence. Yeah, I think he will finish as the Golden Boot winner. In my opinion, I know that a lot of people are saying Harry Kane, but off the last major tournament, the World Cup, Belgium outscored England by like 5 goals, I think. Yeah, and most of Harry Kane's goals came from penalties. So I don't know if that'll be the same story here again, but I do think that Lukaku is a better player when it comes to open play. Yeah, I think Lukaku is a better striker when it comes to open play. So yeah, Lukaku rounds off my best 11.
All right, and for my final player, it's my right striker. I'm actually gonna choose Harry Kane for the reason that he's just a pure goal scorer. I agree with you. I think in open play, Lukaku is better. He has the hold-up play that Harry Kane has, but on top of that, he's quick and he's strong. And he can turn and shoot just like Harry Kane. I chose Harry Kane though because, like I said, he's that proven goal scorer that England need. But for Spurs, he's a different player. When he's playing internationally, like you said, England's way of play is so like...
They score a lot from set pieces.
Yeah, it's so uninspiring during open play. And they score a lot of penalties, they score a lot of free kicks, corners. Like, they're not a good open play type of team. Now, if Gareth Southgate can get his tactics right, then Harry Kane is going to explode in this tournament. He's going to be able to score goals from open play like he does for Spurs. But that's if the system works. I still think Harry Kane is going to score a lot of goals because he's Harry Kane. Like, man scored 23 goals this season and also created 14 assists. So he knows, he has an eye for goal. He understands where his teammates are all the time. He's going to be great. I do think Lukaku is still going to edge him out though, because Lukaku is just a beast for Belgium. He's a beast for Inter, and he's improved his game a lot. As as he's aged, his game has shifted, especially as he's gotten bigger. But yeah, I choose Harry Kane, and that rounds it off for my best 11.
All right, I just want to say that quick disclaimer, this was not easy to do.
Yeah.
If people are mad about our opinions, then I'd like to see you guys come up with the best 11 and best player of the tournament, because this was hard. This was really hard.
This was difficult. No cap. Like this, choosing the best players in certain positions, like there's so many options.
Right.
And it was very difficult. Even choosing the formation was difficult.
Right.
Yeah. So, please bear with us, bro. I want to see you try. I want to see what y'all think in the comments too. Yeah. So now we're gonna give our predictions for who's gonna win the Golden Ball, which is the best player of the tournament. And this is even harder than choosing the best 11. I want to say I have 2 players in mind that I think are gonna win, and they're both French. I think it's either between Kante or Mbappe. And that's a hard choice, bro, because I want to lean towards Kante because he's so influential. Put him in any team and they're gonna instantly become way better. And if you take him out of France, then they're gonna be struggling. I feel like in the middle of in the park. Yeah, they have Sissoko, but Sissoko over Kante, like no. Tolisso over Kante, nah. And on the other hand, I want to choose Mbappe because it's Mbappe. He's so influential. He plays in a PSG team with Neymar, but scores way more goals than, I think they had Icardi, Moise Kean, Neymar. He scores, like he's that go-to goal scorer for PSG, and he's only 22. In a team with Di Maria, Neymar, Icardi, like they have some pretty good attack-minded players, yeah. And yeah, they even had I think he was there when Cavani was there, right?
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, for a little bit, and Cavani is a goal scorer. We've seen that this season. So, I don't know, it's hard. I want to lean towards Kante, but I also want to lean towards Mbappe. But I think my final decision, I think I'm going to choose Kante. I know that might be controversial, but I just have a feeling that Kante is just going to do so well in this competition. And I hope I'm not jinxing anything, and I hope he doesn't get injured. But yeah, Kante, too influential for me. I think he's going to do it.
All right. So I narrowed it down to the same 2 players that T narrowed it down to, Kante and Mbappe. And for me, I'm actually going to go with Mbappe. And I'm going with Mbappe because I think that when the tough gets going, is that the right saying? When the going gets tough.
When the going gets tough.
When the going gets tough, Mbappe gets going. We've seen it throughout the season where Mbappe can put the team on his back. So, for example, in the Champions League against Barca, I'm pretty sure he scored a hat trick in the first game and then one in the in the second game. So he really put PSG on his back when performances weren't looking all that great. So I think that just puts him on another pedestal than Kante. Don't get me wrong, Kante's a good player, but I think that Mbappe is really that X factor that you really want in a game. Yeah. So I went with Mbappe.
Yeah, and honestly, it was a tough choice because for the same reasons, I was going to choose Mbappe. He is the X factor. He is the player that you would look for in that French team not to create, but to score. He is proven at such a young age as well, and he's dynamic. He's so quick. He can dribble. He can pass. He's a professional footballer. But his finishing ability, man, if you put money on him scoring, you're gonna win a lot of money. 9 times out of 10 he's gonna score. Damn, I wanted to say Mbappe, but something about Kante.
And another thing is that France, if we look back in previous years, previous tournaments, they never really had a goal scorer. Yeah. I think the best they've had probably since Thierry Henry was Benzema maybe. Yeah. But now they have a really good goal scorer. Yeah. They've always had a good midfield. They've always had good defenders. But it's that attacking goal scorer that they never really had until Mbappe came. So I think that makes the world of difference. So that's another reason why I picked Mbappe.
That's a good point too, because you're right. They haven't really, especially since Benzema has been out of the squad for I think since the World Cup. Did he even go to the World Cup?
He didn't go to the World Cup.
He didn't go to the World Cup
since 2016, 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So he's been out for a long time. So they've had to rely on Giroud. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, Giroud's a good striker, but
and Benzema got injured today.
Exactly. So they're definitely gonna need to look for Mbappe. I think Benzema, if he's gonna play in this tournament, he's gonna have a good time. I think linking up with Mbappe is going to elevate Mbappe's game. He's playing alongside one of the best strikers in the world. And Karim Benzema has been in great form the past few years.
Yeah, and Benzema, if you watch Benzema play for Real Madrid, he plays almost like a hold-up player. Yeah. So he can supply his wingers, Vinicius Jr. and Hazard or Lucas Vázquez or whoever the other winger is. Yeah. So that just plays beautifully into the way Mbappe likes to play. Yeah.
And Mbappe is definitely a better finisher than Vinicius, better finisher than Vázquez and Hazard. So for that, I agree. Mbappe is it's tough like that, but I'm still gonna go for Kante.
It's gotta be Mbappe.
I think Kante, like, come on, he's N'Golo Kante. He's Mr. Nice Guy, like. So that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks for tuning in once again on the channel. Thank you, David, for being on the channel for sure. Many more to come. It's been the 4545 podcast. Me, Tulu Family Day, and David John. Peace.